Sneaky Sylvans with a sneaky new awesome content creator. Let's go. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? It is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to a brand new guest on the channel here for the very first time. We got my dude Dave over here. Raid with Dave is his YouTube tag. And this is an up-and-coming YouTube content creator that I personally do watch frequently, so I can vouch for his content. And I'm really excited to have him on the channel. A lot of you guys have been asking, when are you going to finish the series? When are we going to get Sylvan Watchers and Orcs? Well, we're going to knock out Sylvan Watchers today. Dave, how you doing, my dude? What's up with you?
Hey MTG, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing good today. It's a bit hot, but yeah, we're all good.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, just to get things kicked off here, why don't you tell everybody like a little bit about yourself, what you enjoy doing on your channel, anything that you got going on right now? What's up with you over there at Raid with Dave?
Yeah, thank you. Sure. Yeah. So I started playing Raid, I think, like most of us during COVID lockdown. So for almost 3.5 years now. And I've been thinking about doing content for it for much longer than I actually started. I started, I think, like 14, 16 months ago. What I like doing on the channel. So the first thing that I started, and it was new back then, I didn't see any content on it, is that just making a plan for everyone of how to get Raman 2. So
Hmm.
what you should save, what resources you should save. You should save lots of glyphs, lots of those like ranking charms for the forge and such stuff. So just making up a big plan of how to get to Raman 2 and what resources you should save. And then of course I went into secret rooms because that's an important part of how to get Raman 2, faction wars and lots of stuff. I'd like to do a little bit of both. Not like I think I'm doing more early game, mid game advice than in game advice. But I like to do both because my account is in game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're. It's so fun seeing your accounts over there. You guys, I'm not gonna spoil it. You have to go check out his channel, but he's got some really crazy champions on very interesting accounts. And one of the things that I hate in this game is the rare secret rooms. So if you've covered that, I'll just start shipping people your way because that's not my thing.
So I've covered a few. So how my take on it, and I didn't cover the rare secret rooms properly. I think I covered only one of them, because the thing is, I chose like the first rotation of Doom Tower Hard as the easiest
It
secret
is.
room
Yeah.
wise. Uh, and that's the one I made sure that I covered all the secret rooms there. It will be covered because I think on a couple of the other rotations you have the spirit only
Right.
rares, which is much tougher there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with Master Butcher, Gnarlhorn, it's doable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple of videos on that, but probably I should do some more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, guys, definitely go check out his channel. I know a lot of my viewers are right in that working on or just got Ramon to range, so I think they would enjoy those videos. Maybe we could bump up the views, but main thing, guys, go sub to my dude Dave. We need to get him to 1,000 subscribers. That needs to happen ASAP. So go show him some support as we jump into the video. We're gonna do a collab on his channel as well. I will link his channel in a pinned comment below, so make sure you click on over there and go watch our video on his channel. And let's dive right into the topic of the day, which is going to be Sylvan Watchers. So
Do
I
this.
like. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, let's do this.
Let's do this. I like to start out the Faction Wars videos with just our favorite champions in the faction. Being that there's not that many, we'll just try to stick to one or two. You're the guest, so I'll go ahead and let you go first. Who is your favorite or a couple favorite champions in the faction?
So absolutely, my favorite champion in this faction is Elva Autumnborn.
Oh,
Elva
okay.
is, yeah, as I think Nabrid said it, and I fully agree with him. It's the best 20 sacreds I invested because how I got my Elva, it was for that guaranteed sacred event that they
Yep.
have done. And this champ, she can be used literally everywhere. She can carry the account everywhere. Even she's on my clan boss team now.
It's one of my regrets, actually. As you can
Oh, yeah.
see, I have a gray border. And I have pulled for her on multiple 10x's after that guaranteed event, which I was low on sacreds and decided not to invest in. But now you can see that she's one of the two champions in the legendaries that I do not have. I doubt I'll ever get her. So where do you use her for those people who still were able to get one?
So Elva's actually usable, like I'm saying, everywhere because if you check her kit, she's very strong. Like on the A2, I believe she got the cleanse and she put speed up. Is that the cleanse there?
Yeah,
Uh,
block debuffs,
yeah.
increase speed, and then with the
So
books, it's 100% cleanse.
yes, so she keeps the team going fast. She keeps the team cleansed and healed. On their A1, he puts the heal on Analai, and then on her passive as well, I believe. She procs that heal.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so and then that single target revive, like some people might think it's not that good, but it's on a 3 turn cooldown.
yeah.
And how you build your Elva, you build her fast, and then she will keep reviving people. She's really even in arena. I've seen some arena
Hmm.
comps using Elva with a second reviver, and she can be a nightmare with also the speed aura in all battles. So she's a solid champ. And look at her speed, like her base speed is 110 with almost 20k HP and 1.3k defense. So she's tanky with a bit of resistance. So she's an awesome champ. So where I'm using her? I'm using her in my Demetha comp. So I have the Elva Demetha comp with Seeker, of course, and Ruella. So it's one of the tougher comps to make work. But I'm using Elva there in a toxic set to give her some more damage. I'm using her on level 24 of Sand Devil because
Huh.
Mayaniri and Ninja are not tanky enough. So
Okay.
just adding Elva to that comp make it a bit slower, but 100%. And of course, in Faction Wars,
Yeah.
she can be used in dungeons and everywhere. I've seen comps with her because of the buffs on the A2. You can use her in a Seer comp. So yeah, she's super strong. She can be used everywhere.
That's cool. I know for me, if I had her on my account, I'd be trying her in Hydra. So I think you're
Oh
right
yes,
that you can pretty much slot her in anywhere if you need this type of support.
for sure.
As for me, I think my favorite champion's got to be Dudan. I really love this guy. I think he is such an interesting looking champion, and his
Yeah.
kit is super, super cool. I think personally, he's the best taunt champion in the game, better than any of the legendaries. I think he's the best one because he gets that counterattack and strengthen. You can use him. He's probably one of, if not the best mischief tanks in the game because of those buffs are so unique. I mean, you might be getting the strengthen buff from somebody, but usually you're not using counterattack and definitely not taunt in Hydra. And so I really, really love this guy. Super tanky, has the shield, increases the duration of all the buffs, but super underrated A1 as well with the cleanse. He has a chance to cleanse one random debuff from all allies. And man, that just comes up a lot. Like if you don't have an answer to the Fear Head in Hydra, he can be used in Phantom Shogun. He's very good there. So yeah, have you had a chance to play at all with Dudan?
No, I haven't built my Dudan. I was planning, he was one of the candidates for the Cadaver team before they nerf it, and I've
Mm-hmm.
never finished building mine. But yeah, he's a very interesting champ. And talking about Tauntaun Hydra, have you seen that bug about Tauntaun Hydra that's been going
Yeah.
around recently?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw something about it, but I don't know what the bug is.
Well, it is, and I think they will fix it fast. But if you have Taunt running using Emic or Dudan or anyone like this, the Hydra never actually what is the word? It never
Consumes?
eats the
Oh,
champ.
eat.
So that counter goes to zero
Yeah.
and it never eats anyone as long as the taunt is up. So, but
Huh.
of course, to make it realistic, you have to run it on at least 2 champs, and
Yeah.
that will mess up the rolls. But it's an interesting bug.
That's very interesting. Yeah, we should take advantage of that this week.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping on to my next topic of unusable champions, are there any champions in here who you feel are like a trap or unusable? Being that this is a new faction, I'm not sure, if there's anybody who would qualify here, but I have a few that I'm thinking about mentioning. So what are your thoughts? Are there any champions that are unusable or traps?
So I'll mention two here.
Okay.
One of them is Lady of Earth. She's
Okay.
okay, but she's a Lego. So if we talk Lego books and the level of support she provides, I think she's much weaker than she needs to be as supporting as a support Lego champ.
Okay.
So if you don't have anyone else to support the faction, you can use her at 50, but she's a bad investment if we talk either books or getting her to 60, because she's not much usable elsewhere. Like there is lots of epics who can do what she does much better. So
Yeah,
that's the first, like,
I think that
go ahead.
sounds right. Yeah. Did you level her up and use her?
No, I don't even have her yet,
Okay.
but
Okay.
looking at her kit
Yeah.
and seeing videos on her, she's just weak for what she should be doing.
She kind of reminds me of Manaya, where she's like all focused on just healing.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but like another dedicated healer like Wither would have like an AoE cleanse, and hers is just focused on a single target. So I think I would probably agree with you. I know I have her and I never leveled her up. So we'll ask for people in the comments. Do you use Lady Areth? If so, where? Let us know how good you think she is. For
Yeah, I'd
me,
love
I want to call out an epic here.
to.
I really do not like Enda Moonbeam.
Yeah.
This attack based champion, he looks decent on paper because he has an AoE leech, he has, single target damage and stuff, and then increases his speed, but his damage is not there. And there are plenty of other champions that are worthwhile. I think if this is for faction wars, obviously you can use any epic at level 40 or 50, but as far as 6-starring anyone, it's going to take somebody to convince me in order to use this guy. Do you have any
I
thoughts
fully
on
agree with
him,
you.
or you want to
I
move on
fully
to
agree
your
with you on
next
this one.
target?
So him and a couple of other ones on this faction. So my strategy doing faction wars, like what I tell people is that you don't need that much damage. You need more support to keep
Yeah.
things going. But you need enough damage to take down the boss, especially if it's one. I think that Sylvan Watchers is one of those, the one with the exchange HP boss. I think it's not open today, but if it's that kind, you need to be doing enough damage so you can work around that exchange HP. So you need the damage, but this guy is not providing it. And a couple, I think the other call out for me is the first three epics in the faction, because also if you look at them, so Cormac, Killan, and Luke Wayne, they might look okay, but there are much better options also even in rares in
Yeah.
that specific faction. So I wouldn't use any of those guys either.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I think if I remember correctly, though, that's the ignored defense boss. Well, since you mentioned rares, why don't you tell us about any of the rares that you like specifically for faction? Yeah, and I think you were mentioning Turlac as well.
Tur- Turlac is okay. Turlac is good with the Veil, and he's for a rare, he's tanky,
Yeah.
so he's okay there. So he's sort of protecting himself in a bit. I don't like the weak source, like the weak version of decrease attack and increase speed. But then, yes, he's a rare. So if you're stuck there, he can help. My recommendation, though, unless you're completely stuck, don't get these guys to 60. They can work as 50, either Turlac or the first guy also. So I think that
Tree Shield
Kate
not,
and
or are you talking about Kate?
no, not. I think so. If you don't have any other revivers, probably you need to take not to 60
Yeah.
because your reviver needs to be tanky enough
Yeah, I
to
agree.
keep it off.
Yeah, I love
But
this guy. I think for like he's one of the best rares added to the game in a long time. And Turlac is pretty decent as well.
yes,
I like Turlac at 50 and not at 60. And then that allows you to, room to 6-star some of your epics or if you have any legendaries as well.
I agree. And the good thing about this faction that I think they're doing a good job of like in champion kits. So what it like the five champs that you'll choose to build for faction war most probably will be usable elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. I use a lot of the faction war champs in secret rooms that I do. But they end up creeping in here, there, and everywhere. Like I know I haven't made a dedicated Doodan video yet. There's a couple people keep saying, when's that Doodan video? But he's crept into a fair bit of teams. I recommend Ruella all the time. You said you use her in your clan boss team?
Yes. Gruella's a beast, and I think I even made a separate video because I'm not good at speed tuning. I think she can replace Seeker in a lot of the Clambos comps that have Seeker in them. But the only thing is that she got a longer cooldown, and
Hmm.
because he gets that extra turn. And I think that also the turn meter filling is a little bit less because Seeker is 30%, she's 20%.
Right.
So she needs some manipulation there, but filling turn meter with increased crit rate, which is it's great to get everybody to 100%.
Hmm.
Those decrease defense on weaken and 3 hits. So if you put Giant Slayer on her for 4 bosses, basically not only clan boss, she can do a lot of damage,
Yeah.
and her damage multipliers are really good.
Yeah. I really want to find a way to use her in Sand Devil because the number one champion I recommend in Sand Devil is Rio. But Ruella, that triple hitter in Sand Devil, is actually a bad thing, whereas everywhere else it's awesome.
Yeah.
But if anybody has a Ruella comp for Sand Devil, please hit me up because we need this in the community. I'm going to keep working on it and see if I can figure it out. But no, nevertheless, she is an amazing champion, and she can help you in a lot of areas as well.
Yes.
Who else you want to talk about in the faction here? Whether it's helping out faction wars or just general usefulness in the game.
Hugely underrated, I think, is Croydon the Blue.
Yeah,
This guy got a very solid kit.
yeah.
And I think we're not seeing enough videos about him. I might build him just, I'm not sure if I have him on my main, but he's really great. So going like his A1 applies freeze. So yes, he's designed for Fire Knight Hard, and he's one of
Mm-hmm.
the best champs for Fire Knight Hard. But he's also usable elsewhere. Like good chance of freeze on the A1. On his A2, he got almost 100% freeze because yes, it's 65% technically, but it's a two hitter, an
Yeah,
AoE two hitter.
yeah.
On his A3, he got like an apothecary like move,
Mm-hmm.
increased speed and filling up of turn meter, keeping the whole team going fast. He's a great control speed booster, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of champ. If you get Croydon early on, don't hesitate building him. He's really a very good champ.
Oh man, on an early game account, I could see him being just absolutely amazing. And one of the cool things about him is that he's a support champion. So he kind
Yes.
of reminds me of Seer, where, he's obviously not going to do as much damage as Seer. He's more on the control side, but he's a support champion that can be a damage dealer and does something else as well. So if you're going to build damage into him, which he can smack, his base attack is very low, so you have to focus on really increasing that attack. But if you do, then you have the benefit of his other stats being pretty decent. His defense is kind of low, but his HP is reasonable, and then you build up his attack. So you can build him as a damage dealer, but make sure you have accuracy to land all of his debuffs. Just really a good champion.
Yes.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people talking about Dythy, and I think Dythy is amazing. He is my main damage dealer in my faction war team, and I think that he could do a really good job for a lot of people, being that he cycles through his abilities so quickly. You're gonna get back through everything over and over again. And just like War Maiden, early game, he's that force decreased defense champion. Have you had a chance to use him at all?
So I did, but I have a guilty confession to make it
Okay.
that because I'm lazy, how I've beaten my faction wars, Sylvan Watchers faction wars,
Yeah.
because I have like Imic and Elva belt, so tanky and fast, so I didn't need much. I used Dythy in there as level 40 without even any gear on him, and I got
Ah,
3 star.
and just he lived because of the unkillable buff.
Yeah, yes,
That's awesome. I think that's great. If you have Emic, he's going to be an all-star. And really, that's true of all of these legendaries. I don't want to discount the fact, like, if you have any of these legendaries, they can easily play in your faction war teams. Like, Owella is crazy good support. King Galkabar, He has some things about his kit that are awkward, but he's decent. Ruark, everybody, if you're wailing out, Saoirse's going to be fine. Everybody in here is fine. But the best part about Sylvan Watchers, I
I
think.
don't want. I agree with you. Sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
it's
I
good.
don't like Rework that much.
Okay.
Like I think compared to the other Legos in that faction, he's
Yeah,
a little bit underwhelming. Yes, he got the tone, doesn't he? So, but other than that, it's like decrease attack on the A2.
yeah,
Yeah, he's okay, I guess. But again, like if I'm thinking the majority of players, we're talking about low spenders,
yeah,
and they won't have that many legendary champs to invest in.
sure.
So that guy wouldn't be the best investment. But again,
No.
they're doing an amazing job in the design. Look at the design
Yeah,
of that champ and the others
so
as well.
cool.
Look at his shield and his
Yeah.
armor.
As far as Ruark specifically, I actually had him on my free to play account, and he was awesome, actually. Now, I don't want to tell you that I leveled him up. I put him at level 50, I ascended him, I didn't book him, I didn't put masteries on him, I didn't like put crazy gear on him, but he still really helped my team. And his passive is actually really underrated. Whenever they lose 10% or more of their max HP, he puts a shield buff on them, and that's really helpful for survivability on the bosses and the waves in Faction Wars. So, do I recommend building him? No, but at level 50, he's absolutely great, and he can go in any team.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
most of the time, we're going to be relying on the epics for our faction war teams and some of the rares. So let's outline like just like a free to play faction war team for all of those people who maybe haven't beaten this yet. So if you had one pick from the epics or rares, who's the first one you're putting on the team?
So the first one I would say for me would be Croydon because
Okay.
going fast, like keeping the team going fast and having some control for the waves, is two of the things that are very important to beat faction wars.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And he would have been one of my picks as well. I would have put Tree Shield not at the top of my list, but, nevertheless, they're all going to be on the team anyway. I think it's really, really great to have a reviver. I've seen people put 2 or 3 copies of Tree Shield not on their team and then just use their other champions alongside of them. Any amount of Tree Shields that you have, they can all go on the team. So he's my pick for spot number 2. And don't forget about his aura. I love putting him first to use his aura for faction crypts. All right, who's pick number 3?
So pick number three for me would be Ruella, if you have her,
Great.
because she's good all over. She will be a good investment to Max anyways. Put books in her and everything. You'll never regret it. Because also on her A3, so some people just like don't realize the value of keeping the team going fast enough.
Yeah.
If you pair Ruella with Croydon, the team will take multiple turns
Yep.
for every turn that either the boss or the waves take, and that will make your job much easier there. So Ruella, you're building her anyways. She's doing a lot of damage. She got good buffs, good debuffs on her kit. So yeah, definitely Ruella's going into the team.
Great. She can do damage. She does some control. She boosts your team's turn meter and stuff. I love where this is going. So we have Tree Shield, we have Croydon, we have Ruella. I'm going to let you get another pick here, and then I'll get the final pick. Who's your next spot on this team?
We're not picking Legos.
I would prefer not because if you have Legos, they're probably going on the team. Like if you have Elva, she's definitely going in there. Emic definitely going in. Claydna S tier for Faction Wars. Oella same thing. But yeah, let's just keep it free to play friendly with no
Make,
Legos.
makes sense. So one of the new champs that I wasn't even sure about her kit, but I think she's really good. Is the Void, the Last Void. So Nea, I'm not sure about Nea. Nea's on and off, but this one, Ayala, I think she's really good. So I
Okay.
think she got revive on this, if I'm not mistaken.
So
No, she
sure, her
didn't get
A1 is the restore max HP. The A2 is the increase accuracy and the sleep. The A3 is block debuffs on all allies and heals them by 30%. And then her passive, she can give somebody a turn.
so she's okay. No, I'm mistaking her for someone else,
Oh,
but
did you
she's
mean the
okay.
other reviver, Wyronon?
So, my problem with Wyron, she's okay, but single target revive
Yeah.
is like she's worse than not. If you have not, you'll just use not there.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would say for epics, like my pick would be either one of the rares actually.
Okay,
Let me
that's
see what
fine.
the epic.
Which one?
So
Which one do you think, or both? What are the two you're debating
Turlac
between?
would be good.
I think Turlac is a great call here. You know, a lot of people are going to have him. He seems to pop out pretty frequently from ancient shards or mystery shards. And
Yeah.
although he has the small version of increased speed and decreased attack, like the combination of his kit is just very useful. And for a rare, he is very tanky for a rare.
Yes. Yeah.
So I like
Better than
him. I like
yeah.
him in there. And then your fifth spot can really be anybody. That's going to be super flexible.
Yeah.
In this team of Knot and Turlac, Cryoden, and Ruella, I think we have enough control and support. We could put more damage in there with decreased
Yes.
defense and damage with Dythy, or you could go more support with Dudan. Those would be probably one of those two. But I think really any fifth champion could make it work in there up until maybe the final 21 boss.
I agree. Nia also is great support here. The only call outs that I always do when you're using a light protect champs on faction war that they will be soaking a lot of damage. So just make sure they are tanky enough in regen or some gives them some way because unfortunately, which comes with the kit, support champs with a light protect, they don't hit hard. So
Yeah.
their only way of just regaining their health back is to make them fast and immortal or regen.
Yeah. Yeah. Great call. I totally agree. And I have used Nia quite a bit in some different Faction Wars content, so that's a great call out there. Do you have your Faction War team pulled up here for wrapping up the video?
Yes, so of course it's not open today,
Right.
but my faction war team is actually Elv of course is leading the team with Emic, and then I have Ruella, Dythy, and who's the fifth one I've used? Uh, I don't remember, but yeah, like I said, I'm a bit lazy there, and Elva and Emic made it so easy, so I was just putting champs with them just to
Yeah,
get the
fair
goal.
enough, fair enough. I mean, when you have such strong champions like that, no one can blame you, right? I moved myself on top of my team here. Don't forget, guys, you have one preset for every faction. I highly encourage you to use them, but you can see I have 0 legendaries. I have lots of legendaries. There is 0 on the team. In fairness, I haven't updated this team since I originally built it. Kellen is missing quite a few pieces of gear as well, but you know, Ruella and Dythy and Cryoden and Tree Shield Knot. We talked all about those, and those are actually the champions I use on my account, which I thought was pretty cool that it worked out that way. But as you can see, this is a very easy, accessible faction for Faction Wars with champions that are going to help you in other areas of the game. Let us know who we missed in the comments below. Who are your favorite champions? Because we want to hear from you. Obviously, we don't have time to cover every single champion, so let us know your thoughts. If you appreciate this, the #1 way you can help this video reach others is by hitting that like button. Well, Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the channel here. We're going to hop over and head over to your channel to talk about some sweet, sneaky picks for champions that you're not using yet. What thoughts do you have as we're heading out the door here?
So one last thought that first of all, yes, they don't happen that often, but when Raid gives us that free gear removal window of a weekend or whatever, that's a great time for you to put your best gear on your faction war teams just to beat it without costing you any silver. And the other thing is that you have to do this only once, so do it at a time when you have some time and you relax, so you can try it a couple of times to get those 3 stars.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. All right, man. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Who do you guys want to see for the last one for Orcs? I'm going to try to get somebody on the channel, wrap up this series. Have a great day. We'll see you guys in the next one.